Good morning, everyone, and how are you on this beautiful Monday morning? Hope your weekend went well. I know mine did. Mine was alright. Did 3 private readings this weekend for 3 people I know. If you would like a private, if you would like a private reading yourself, it's very easy to get one. All you have to do is go down below to the links in the description, and you will find my Amazon wish list. Send me anything from that wish list. I don't care if it's a book, Swiss Army knife, a movie I had, or whatever. I will give you a personal reading as long as your name, your birthday, I just need month and day. You can give me the year if you like. It's not required. And whatever your question is, I will give you a reading based on that. If you send me a deck, give me a little time to kind of connect with it, cleanse it, and get it ready, and then I will do a reading for you using the deck you got me as my way of saying thank you. And to be honest, I'm kind of undercutting most people who would do these kinds of things in person. Because if you got me, say, a $10 book, you've added to my library. You have no idea how much I would appreciate something like that. So, I've done 3 of them this weekend. Had a great time doing them. And at some point, maybe I'd like to do one for you too. But that's the way to do it. Since I'm not monetizing the channel, and I do encourage you to use ad blockers when necessary, I want to deliver this content to you for free and let Google pay for it. Just one of my little evil ways of getting back at a very evil corporation whose motto probably was, "Don't be evil." Well, it seems that they're not following their own advice. Anyway. Did 3 of those, had a lot of fun doing them. Also had a lot of fun just kind of posting dumb memes here and there. And generally having a good time. Anyway, let's get right to it, shall we? Alright, so, who is our guide for today? Okay. Well, remember how I said this is kind of a numbers game, and eventually we would come up with a card that we were a little leery of? Yeah, today is one of those days. Oddly enough, they've used this for the backs of the cards. But we ended up with Fenrir. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna completely flip out if our spirit animal's a wolf. But we've never had Fenrir pop up before. So maybe it's time we kind of looked into him a little bit, make sure that his message isn't one of total destruction. Okay. So, this is just what what the book that came with it says. It says, "There is power in endings. Let go of your hatred. Belittling others to make yourself feel superior is never wise. Do not automatically fear those whom you may not fully understand. First impressions are not always correct." Now, this is kind of an important point. The Vikings both generally admired and greatly feared the wolf, An apex predator, wolves not only competed with the Norse peoples for wild prey, they also killed farmers' livestock, ate the flesh of dead warriors left on the battlefield, and yet the same animals were understood to be protective, family-oriented, and to play an important role in maintaining the ecological balance. While the Hall of Valhalla was guarded by wolves, perhaps the most frightening of all Norse images of destruction is that of the giant wolf Fenrir eating the moon and sky at Ragnarok. Also, Sol and Mani, sun and moon, were said to have been chased by two wolves, one called Hati, hate, and the other called Skoll, or mockery, sons of the fearsome Fenrir. This presents us with a mythos where two light-bringing deities are constantly threatened by two dark emotions, a good indication of how the Norse felt about the value of those emotions. So, we've had readings in the past where it was time to kind of reach across the aisle and understand the other one, right? And while I do agree with some that you cannot reason with people who would like to nothing more than to see you and your entire way of life eliminated or eradicated, remember that this is part of my beliefs, which were nearly eradicated many centuries ago, but something of it managed to survive, and what little of it we actually have, there's still a lot of homework to do. We're trying to reconstruct it from that base. It is possible to rebuild based on what you have. The Tower card comes to mind on that one. But we're being told to let go of our hatred today, let go of mockery, and leave it, kind of try to fully understand things. First impressions aren't always correct. I can kind of agree with that. But we're bound by Armadillo's spirit today, where we have to set some healthy boundaries. Personally, I'm thinking setting those boundaries needs to be with ourselves first and foremost, right? We got to kind of moderate our own behavior a little bit. And with this one, let's see. Learning to set healthy boundaries is the gift of the armadillo. You are entering a phase where, in order for you to be in alignment with your intentions and co-create your best life, you may have to be discerning and say no to many things that have been okay for you in the past. This also means that you need to learn where you end and where others begin, what is yours to own and what is not. Know your limits and understand that it's an empowering choice to say no to what doesn't feel right. Armadillo is here to tell you it's time to be honest with yourself about what you really want. Be clear on what you are agreeing to, declare what your needs are, say no as a full sentence. These acts of respect and kindness to others as well as yourself. Trust your body's signals and you will know what to do. Armadillo's spirit guides you in making good decisions that are grounded in a strong sense of what belongs to you and what does not. I can think of several groups that probably would benefit from that. Leave each other alone. At least for today. See how it goes. Back off a little bit. Just understand that there are times where you're not going to win every battle. Dunking on the next person is not going to help. So, what else are we looking forward to today? Alright, so in our past we have the Emperor. Present, we have a 5 of Pentacles. And in our future, a 5 of Wands. So we're getting a little bit of everything today. Just a little taste of all of it. Did you boss up yesterday? Was that what happened? I'm kind of interested myself. Because don't make no mistake, that Emperor, he is well armored under those robes, but he is always looking around. He's always making sure no one's about to try to get one over on him. But this is that particular card is mostly about tradition. So this is also developing your strategy as well. And in your past, that's what you did. You developed your strategy based on tradition. And right now, you're feeling a little left out in the cold. And that much, you know, we can see what that Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is always, you know, you're unaware of something. You're left out of that conversation for some reason. I wonder why that is. Well, then you got that Five of Wands popping up, and it looks like total chaos. It looks like everybody's just fighting the hell out of each other. But this is also some struggle. So the struggle's real. And what I'm looking at is, you know, tradition is alright. There's nothing wrong with tradition. In fact, tradition is very healthy. Lots of great things come from tradition. For example, certain techniques of woodworking. You know, you cut certain woods a certain way. You put a coat of polyurethane on bare unfinished wood, and not only can it give it a nice protective coating, but it can also kind of make it last a little longer. And that comes from tradition. We have traditional techniques that are used because they've been proven to work. Sometimes it kind of holds you back though, just a little bit. It doesn't allow you to know certain things. It doesn't, okay, let me put it this way. This is tradition, this is structure. That's fine. You need that in your life. But the problem is, if you start becoming dogmatic, that's where it leaves you out in the cold. That's what makes you struggle with others. Aren't we seeing the tone of this thing shaping up very quickly? So, what does the universe have to say about this? Let's let them weigh in. So from the star gallery here, we have Hydreth. We also have the Cosmic Heart. And these cards are really, really beautiful. I'm not a pastels kind of guy, but I mean, take a look at that. They're beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. That's why I love this deck. This and the Work Your Light Oracle, I do love those. And also the White Light Oracle, they're some of my favorite cards. And then here it is, you've got the Love. So with Hyreth, we're kind of longing for that home. So where's home? I mean, seriously, let's think on that for a minute. Home is where tradition is. Home is where we sometimes make new ones. I know around here, there's an annual tradition, whether I'm watching WWE or any wrestling throughout the year or not, whether I'm following it closely or not, every year, WrestleMania, pizzas, ice cream, it's the one day that I'm definitely not eating healthy. Sometimes the food ordered is a little different, but that's okay. We have that. We watch WWE, and I'll be honest with you, it's a tradition that I really don't mind. You know, I'm off work. So those traditions, while a physical place might not feel like at home, those traditions can feel like home. And then you got the Cosmic Heart, which this one has a line in the card itself, which I absolutely love. It's make your life a moving prayer. Here's where we go from tradition to dogma. I'm not a big fan of dogma, personally. I can see where it has its place. A devotion to, say, your spirituality, for example, that is different than a set of hard and fast rules that you have to live by that don't make any sense. For example, avoiding games or music because some authority figure in your religion said you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't listen to that. See, what I'm looking at here is devotion to, now this emperor, this is not the hierophant, this is not the high priest, it's not the high priestess, this is the emperor. He is a political figure. But lately we've noticed a lot of devotion. Everything we do must serve the political figure, and that's wrong. And this is what has divided us. This is what has separated us. So rather than doing that, maybe it's time you develop a little bit of a discernment here. Look at that political figure and understand that those people in office, they are not all powerful, they are not all knowing, they are not omnipotent, they are not omniscient. They are people, and boy are they flawed. The people on your TV, they are not omnipotent, they are not omniscient. They are people, and boy are they flawed. So, what you want to do is rather than mistaking political power for divine right to rule, maybe it's time you sought the divine and learn to separate the two. You give your devotion to one, and you treat the other as an employee. But remember, we're talking tradition here, and for too long the lines between our spirituality and our dogma and our tradition have just been blurred. You pretty much can't tell one from the other right now, but you could if you put your mind and your eyes to it. Finally, make your life a moving prayer. That means live your life in service to your spirit, your soul. That's what you need to be listening to when it comes to you and your life. Forget what the talking heads are saying. Treat others as you'd want to be treated. You can make home anywhere. That's really the message. And you've got the love. Again, that's about setting boundaries. Today, not that. I'm not going, you could just be saying, rather than saying no to a situation, would you like to work some extra hours? Not really. Instead of saying no to that, it could be, do you really want to go dunk on someone on Twitter? No, not really. Don't get me wrong, I've done it, but my answer to that is not today. And I think that's a good way to go. So, finally, not that one. Already drawn from there. We're going to the runes finally and wrapping this up. We have Kenaz, your way is already lit. Tavaz, so we've got a little justice in the works here. And Othala, this is where you need to seek the wisdom of your ancestors. Again, remember, they were human, they were flawed. You don't have to take everything they did as gospel. They may have done some pretty terrible things, but they must have done something right because you are here. And that's really everything. So, you need to set boundaries between dogma and tradition. You need to set boundaries between your spirituality, that which you should devote yourself to, and politics, that which you really should watch out for. I would keep a wary eye on the politician, and I would keep a loving eye on your God, whatever that looks like. And just remember, everything you do should be in service to the spirit, not the state. So, watch out for that extra pressure to live in a state of fear. because that's not you. And that's definitely not you today. Remember to seek the wisdom of your ancestors, or at least remember it, what you may know of it. Your justice is going to come in that form. And you already know the way because the path for you is lit today. So, I hope you're doing like me and dosing up nicely. I'm definitely going to be having some of my prescription right now. Remember just to set healthy boundaries. If you feel like you got to take a day away from social media, do it. It's going to benefit you. If you feel like you need to get away from social media altogether, do it. If you feel like you need to turn off the TV, do it. If you feel like you should be sitting down and reading a book and not cruising the news every 5 minutes, hey, do it. If you feel like that book should be a spiritual book, do it. Anybody wants to discuss politics with you today? Say, you know what? Not really into it today. Anybody wants to draw you into some jackpot with them? Just, you know what? Not into it today. That's really all you got to do. Set those healthy boundaries for the sake of your health, both mental and physical. I hope this resonated with you. I appreciate you being here with me today. I hope you get something out of this. I hope this kicks off your week the right way. Let's kind of take a lemon and make some lemonade, shall we? I think we can. I think we hold the keys. You and me both. All of us. Hope you enjoyed your cup of tea or your cup of coffee with me today. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you for showing up. I hope you'll tell a friend, and I hope you'll bring them along. And as always, shine on.